Hello and happy Friday, Winterhawks fans. I'm Josh Critzer with PNW Hockey Talk. I had an opportunity to get caught up with the team here on Thursday. Was able to get down to the VMC and check in with a couple of players, and along with Mike Johnston and Kyle Gustafson. I was, with the team being on the road, completing their Eastern Conference trip. The team went 4-2, and then they came back, had one game at home against Tri-City before going on the road to Wenatchee. And now they get ready to play two big games here this coming weekend against the Medicine Hat Tigers and the Victoria Royals. So two big games coming up here this weekend. Medicine Hat Tigers are absolutely a wagon right now. For fans who were able to tune in on Wednesday, there was the Wednesday night in the dub game against the Everett Silvertips. And it was kind of a matchup between the top two teams, one in the West, one in the East. And I know Portland had a close eye on that game as the Winterhawks prepare to face Gavin McKenna and the Medicine Hat Tigers here this evening, excuse me. And so if you haven't already got your tickets, fans, you got to come out to this game. This is Gavin McKenna. If for all of you kind of hockey fans who remember Connor Bedard and didn't get an opportunity to see him live because of just the way the schedule worked out when he was available, Gavin McKenna's that too, right? He's maybe not the with the hype that Bedard had, but he's right there. He's going to be the first overall pick of the 2026 draft. So not this coming draft in the summer, but in the following year. So you're not going to want to miss him. He's an absolute special talent. There's a lot of quality players as well in Medicine Hat. They're on an 11-game winning streak. They are just absolutely on fire. So in Victoria, there's a team that's loaded up over the last couple of weeks at the trade deadline, and they are going to be a very formidable opponent. And you know that they're kind of one of the teams that Portland is potentially going to be battling for playoff positioning. Right now, they're kind of battling themselves with Prince George to see who's going to have the top spot in the BC division. So to kind of get us caught up with practice and the team and kind of where everything stands, I was able to talk with a couple players, like I mentioned, in Diego Buttazzoni and Ryan Miller, and then also with head coach Kyle Gustafson. So let's hear from Kyle Gustafson here to start.
Well, I think, if you were to ask me early on, we had a lot of ups and downs of the season, and trying to find consistency was the key. I like parts of our game where we're at. I feel like we're turning the corner in a lot of different areas. Yep. There's still a lot of things we have to improve. You look at some of our goal production of late. It seems like we're getting our chances. We're setting up quality chances, and we're getting rewarded with it. There's some things defensively that we've got to get much better at. Yep. And you need to tighten up those areas, especially when you start talking about runs and playoff. If you want to get in the playoffs type of thing. But I think as a whole, we're quite happy. You look at some of the individual achievements that we have on our team. Yep. We've had some guys with some breakout seasons, so you got to be pleased with that.
So thank you to Kyle for answering that question, just kind of where the team is. So, I think this is a young team. There's a lot of rookies on the team this year compared to last year's championship team that made the run. So kind of good to hear from him and kind of what his perspective is. So next up, let's hear from 17-year-old alternate captain Ryan Miller.
With the way our team's trending, we got a lot of depth in our group, and I'm excited for these couple of games.
Maybe with all the new guys coming in, and how have you kind of seen the team gel and kind of get acclimated with each other?
Yeah, I think our older guys have definitely helped these new guys come in and fit in with the team pretty well, and I'm really happy the way they've been playing, and they've been a big part of our team so far. So. Yeah,
how's it been for you wearing a letter? Again, we go back to I can't remember the last time a 17-year-old wore a letter. How has that leadership experience been for you this year?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit new to me, but just trying to be a leader to those young guys, because I was definitely in their situation last year and I know what it's about. So I'm just trying to lead by example on and off the ice. So.
Yeah, is it something where you kind of maybe try and bridge the gap a little bit between the older guys and the younger guys? Do you feel like they maybe feel more comfortable talking to you versus maybe some of the older guys?
Yeah, I definitely connect with. I think I connect with everyone on the team pretty well. Definitely, I'm still a young guy. I'm the league on the team, right. So I can gel with anyone pretty well.
Yeah, kind of coming back, are you feeling kind of healthy and things like that? I know you've kind of had kind of up and down with some injuries and stuff. Are you feeling healthy? How's your season going so far for you?
I've never been more excited to be back.
Yeah,
that was a long haul there, but Richie helped me out a lot to get back on the ice and get going again. So there's definitely a lot of work in the gym, but like I said, I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, and the Winterhawks definitely welcome Ryan Miller back. He adds a lot to the lineup. Sometimes it's hard to remember that he's a 17-year-old. He's kind of a bigger body. He's been able to play center. He's been able to play wing a little bit, so he can really kind of add a lot of value for the Winterhawks team. So, kind of as we move forward now, we'll talk with a little bit from Diego Buttazzoni and hear kind of his perspective from what he's seen with the team right now.
The team's been buzzing lately. I think the guys are getting along. I mean, we got a couple new guys come in, but I think the chemistry's clicking, power play's clicking. I think, overall our team's doing pretty good right now, and everything just seems to flow.
Yeah, how have you kind of acclimated with these new guys and kind of make them feel like a part of the team?
Yeah, well, obviously we welcome in with open arms and stuff, and they're both great guys. I mean, Joel Plani's from Langley, actually same hometown as me, so I've known him for 8 years or so now. So, it's nice to see a familiar face back here. But, Weirmeyer's a great guy too, obviously, high-end skill, great player, played at NTDP and Denver and stuff. But, they're great additions. They've been unreal. I mean, I love playing with Plani. I think we're getting some good chemistry now. So, I think we try to keep it up and keep rolling here.
Yeah, kind of what's been the key to the success on the power play? I mean, is it kind of puck movement? What has it been that's been helpful on the power play?
Yeah, well, obviously all five guys play a key role. It's Alex at the net front, Z in the bumper and stuff. I mean, we have lots of options. All guys can shoot the puck, obviously. I think it's just high volume. I think we're a high volume shooting power play, and we have good ozone, ozone pressure and stuff, even off rebound and stuff. We're always coming up with pucks and stuff like that. So I think, just lots of shots. We're snapping it around, snapping on net, and we're lucky for them to keep going in.
Yeah, Diego was very complimentary of the power play, and at practice today there was a lot of work on the power play and also the penalty kill at practice. On Thursday. So, it's something that special teams are going to be a big factor this weekend against both Medicine Hat and Victoria. So, Portland's really going to have to capitalize on their chances if they're going to want to kind of be able to kind of keep the offense rolling. And we've seen them been able to have success on the power play, and I think this weekend is going to be another one of those examples of just how important special teams can really be for the team. Kind of continuing along in our conversation, I was able to talk with Kyle Gustafson a little bit about some of the rookies and how he has felt the rookies have handled as now we get past Christmas, we get past the trade deadline, players maybe aren't starting to feel a little bit like rookies a little bit. So here's what Kyle Gustafson had to say this on Thursday afternoon.
Seems like we have a lot of them. And early on, it was a little bit of trial by fire. And you put them in situations, not that you want to see them, fail, but you want to have them learn those moments. And we've been really happy with some of our guys. You look at what Jordan Duguay is doing. He's playing up with Kyle and Alex, and they've been at times our top line. You see what Brown can do. He's a big, powerful guy that can skate, and he grabs your attention every time he's got the puck in open ice. So I think right now the first half was a little bit of just really getting accustomed to the league and learning how we play. And the second half is a little bit more, they've carved their identity, which is kind of nice, and it's pretty special in its own way, so you know what this player is going to be. And then for us as coaches, you also recognize their strengths and weaknesses so you can tackle the weaknesses.
Yeah, and so Kyle was really able to kind of talk about that. We've got I'll be working on some other cool features here that'll be coming up in the next week or so, talking a little bit more about how they work with the players and development and things like that. So make sure you're tuned into PNW Hockey Talk and following me on social media. We'll be happy to get some of that new and exciting content out to you coming up. So kind of our last interview portion here around just kind of where the team's at currently is newly the most fresh Winterhawk, I guess, if you can say. There's been a lot of players who've come in and played their first WHL game, but is Max Chinichka. I probably am not pronouncing that right. We're still kind of working on the pronunciation a little bit, so apologize to Max if I've got that wrong, but had an opportunity to talk to Kyle Gustafson on Thursday a little bit more about him and kind of what he's seen now that he's had an opportunity to get some practices and things under his belt.
It goes back to your first question is where I feel like our game's at. And now that we have time that we can sit back and practice and work on some areas, I think Max is only getting better because of it. It was a little bit drinking from the fire hose early on when we had a lot of games and he was thrown into the mix. But you see what he is. He's a big guy that competes hard, that can skate, loves getting up the ice, has a really good stick. He's a long guy, long defender. So, we're really excited about where he's at and his future with the Winterhawks. We're just going to have to kind of learn as we go. He hasn't had a training camp. He hasn't had the first half of the season. So.
Sure. I've noticed you put him out with Carter a little bit. I mean, it's a noticeable size out there. Is that kind of some of the benefits of playing kind of two really tall guys with kind of the long sticks?
Yeah, I think they complement each other well. With Carter, it's twofold. It's two guys that can defend well, two guys that like to get up into play, and it also gives a little bit of stability with Ryder and Jugs. But we're comfortable mixing it up if we have to. But for us, it was just what is a short-term solution with Max just joining our team, and we thought Carter was a fit. Moving forward, we'll have to see if that's going to be the case.
Yeah, and so Max, I think, is a huge piece to this team. Both pun intended there with Max's size, and I think as he starts to kind of get used to the game a little bit, and kind of the North American game, that is, I think that's going to make a big difference for him and for the Winterhawks. It's really kind of allowed them to kind of spread out their ice time a little bit amongst their top 4, top 5 defensemen, and still kind of being able to rotate some of the younger guys and rookies in as well. So. That's a little bit about the team. Let's now shift our focus to kind of where this weekend is going to go. And where this weekend is going to go is with the first and primary focus being on the Medicine Hat Tigers. And so here is Kyle Gustafson talking about Medicine Hat and kind of how the Winterhawks are going to be tackling this challenge.
Know that they're a top team in the league, if not the top team in the country. And as we talked to our team about today, is let's embrace this challenge. Let's face it head on. Let's meet it. We use a saying like a faceless opponent quite a bit here, especially with a young team and a team that's maybe transitioning from a championship team last year. So we often use the faceless opponent. When you talk about that, sometimes that's against teams that on our eastern swing that you just don't know them that well. Yep. These guys definitely have our attention because they're a great team, but we want to make sure that we're not afraid of the moment and that we're tackling this as the strength of our team, and we're going to do everything we can internally to make sure that we're putting the best game together.
Yeah. Is there a way you can try and shut down Gavin McKenna, or do you just try and contain him? I mean, is it kind of a similar game plan to when you guys had to play Bedard, that type of thing?
It's different. We're going to do some things that are going to be a little bit tweaks, whether we look at our line matchups or shuffle our lines around a little bit. You just hope to put them in check. Like, these guys are such special players, high drafted players, and then you got Gavin, who might be the top player in the country for his age group, or is the top. But again, it goes back to just being responsible. You're going to get their chances. You want to minimize the good ones. Yep. But more importantly, you want to make sure that our team is ready for this challenge, and they're excited to come to their rink. It's not just a Tuesday night game. It's the best team in the country for a big challenge.
Yeah, and the Portland Winterhawks definitely have a challenge ahead of them. Up next is Diego Buttazzoni, and he has a little bit of a history with the Medicine Hat Tigers. That was who originally drafted him, 37th overall. He was not able to kind of get signed there, and the Winterhawks traded for his rights for a second and a 4th round pick. He's now come in and blossomed under the Winterhawks. Let's hear what Diego has to say about tonight's game.
Yeah, obviously they have a ton of high-end skill. I mean, they're an unreal team. Obviously, they're 11-0 in their last 11 and stuff. So, yeah, they're rolling right now. I think we just have to come out with a hot start here and try to shut them down early. I mean, finish checks, play a physical game. I mean, they might have more skill on our team, but, we got to be in work ethic and hard and stuff like that, get in the gritty area. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. You've got a little bit of a history with Medicine Hat. Is there any kind of extra motivation for you coming into this game, or is it just another Friday night?
Yeah, for me, it's just another Friday night. Obviously, it's nice if I play a good game against these guys because they traded me away. But, it's not like I don't like them or anything. Ton of respect for that team. Willie Desjardins, great coach as well. Great history with him and stuff. But, no, they're a good team, and, yeah, hopefully we come up with a win.
Yeah, and so kind of a little bit of a preview there with Willie Desjardins, and hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right too. It's a little bit late here as we're recording, so I apologize about that. But with Willie, he actually has a really good relationship with Mike Johnston, and so I'll ask about that here in just a second. You'll hear me ask Mike Johnston about it. So for Diego, we'll see if there's any extra motivation for him out there. He's definitely a player that's kind of risen to the challenge for Portland and has really kind of helped contribute to the offense going forward here. So up next and last is Ryan Miller. Back to hearing from him. Miller is actually from Medicine Hat, so this is a road game from his home team, but at his home, type of thing. So, he grew up in Medicine Hat, so this game is probably going to mean a little bit something extra to him. So let's hear what Miller had to say on Thursday after practice.
They're obviously a good team.
Yeah.
They're on a winning streak right now, so we're just going to have to look. They got some top-end talent. We're going to have to look to shut it down. And, I'm excited to play against my home team.
Yeah.
It'll be a good game, and it's always nice to see some familiar faces as well.
Yeah. How do you try and slow down McKenna, right? Maybe try and contain him. Is that just kind of something you guys just play maybe a different style against him, or you just still try and stick to what your game, if you will?
Yeah, he's definitely a high-end skilled player. We just got to kind of just stay on the D side with him.
Yeah.
He's going to be making a lot of plays out there, so we just got to play physical, play hard.
Yeah. Does this game mean anything more to you, or maybe it would mean more if it was in Medicine Hat, but just is there any sort of special connection for you with this game, or how do you feel about the game overall?
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of family and friends watching from back home.
Sure.
They'll definitely be tuning into the game, so I'm just looking to play my best game, and hopefully we can come out with a win with the group of guys we have.
Yeah. So Miller's, like I talked about earlier, Miller's going to be a really key piece. So he's going to have a little bit extra motivation with all of his family and friends watching as well. So to kind of conclude us here, let's hear from General Manager and President Mike Johnston and kind of how he views this game and whether or not he takes anything extra special going up against one of his good friends in Willie.
I think a little bit, but more so I think it's anytime you get to play great teams, everybody gets excited. You're going to see the players, I'm sure when you talk to them today, they're really excited about the game. Medicine Hat coming in on the trip, I heard their comments before the trip that they know our division is very strong and they're going to get tested. So I think, you look at the results last night, I watched the game close, and I thought it was closer than the score, to be honest. But Medicine Hat has beat some pretty good teams in our division. It's going to be a fun game because you're playing a good team, and it's always nice to have people that you have a friendship with and you have a little bit of a rivalry with to have a game like that for sure.
Yeah, so a lot going on this weekend. These are big games for Portland, kind of as the standings coming into tonight's game. Portland sits technically fourth in the conference with 57 points. They're tied with the Prince George Cougars. They currently trail the Spokane Chiefs by 3 points, and they're 5 points up on Vancouver for the 6th spot. So Portland wants to kind of stay in that 4-5 range, 3, 4, 5, 6 range, if you will. You really kind of want to try and avoid kind of that 1-2 matchup and things like that. But they're going to push for home ice. And, if you can have home ice in the first round, I don't think there's a ton of expectations coming into the year that this is where Portland would be 46 games in. I think this team has overachieved. I think Kyle Gustafson has done a wonderful job of just pulling the right strings at all the right times. Seems like whatever lineup adjustments he makes or in-game adjustments with moving players up or down, it seems to pay almost instant dividends. So he's got a really good feel for what's going on the bench. And, I think this weekend, as you can see, Victoria's, they're 3 points up, but they're, leading the BC division. So there's going to be a lot to play for here this weekend. Again, if you don't have your tickets, head over to winterhawks.com, take a look at some of those options, call your ticket rep, call your friends, even just your casual hockey friends. Like, this is a name that everybody's going to know. With McKenna not getting draft eligible until next year, there's maybe not as much hype around some of this, but fans are not going to want to miss this. This is a player that is just remarkable, and the Winterhawks play a fun brand of hockey. They're playing some great games right now. So thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it as we try and bring some fresh content out to you guys. So keep an eye out for PNW Hockey Talk. I'll have some new features that I'm working on coming out, and look forward to being able to share those with you. So in the meantime, look forward to seeing you all around the rink. Thanks.